Alright, guys. So, this is one of my favorite places that I ever went. It no longer exists. It was torn down, but it is in Clariton, PA. And I don't know if any of you guys have been to Clariton, but it's pretty rough there. As far as it's just, suffering from poverty. I mean, the whole entire town is like abandoned. I mean, I could have spent days there just going through buildings, but it was extremely sketchy there. And I had the wife and our newborn daughter at the time, was with us, so she was in the back sleeping, and obviously I'm not going to take them into where I was, but yeah, I mean driving through town, almost every business was gone and abandoned. Their downtown was just, I mean, it was like a ghost town, but there were still people there, and I don't know how they survived. I don't know where they worked, but there is a factory, like a plant in the middle of the town, and the smell when you drive through that town is, I mean, I can't even describe it. I mean, it was so horrible that I think that that's why everyone was moving out, and I think that that's why there's so many abandoned houses, because you literally had to escape. It was that intoxicating. Like it made you sick. I didn't even want my baby breathing it. So anyway, this neighborhood, it's a whole entire neighborhood that was abandoned, and so I hopped out of the car. I just parked, down the road a little ways. Locked the car up real good, left them in there, and I just rolled up real quick with my camera, with my phone, just to get a quick glimpse of. I didn't go through every single house, but I saw pictures of this place, and of course there's like haunted legends on why it's abandoned. People say that it's like a conspiracy and blah blah, but I honestly just think it was because the town was so horrible. Like there's no one wanted to live there anymore. And then, these houses were all ransacked, and people started lighting them on fire, and they just kept getting worse and worse. But it's just really weird. Like I wish I would have done it in the wintertime when you could actually see, because everything would have been dead. But it was one of the most interesting places because it was just straight up. I mean, the whole entire it was a whole neighborhood. I mean, there wasn't much in the houses. I didn't want to like risk going in and falling through the floor because they looked pretty rough. I mean, I could have walked through that house, but it was just I mean, it was what it was. There wasn't anything left in there, so I just figured I'd get a peek in some of them. But I saw videos of people doing this place before me, and back when there were things, there were still photo albums and there was still stuff. But a lot of the stuff is just thrown outside. I mean, anything of value in that town was ransacked and taken, which there probably wasn't anything of value, just more or less personal items. But it's just so weird, like to think that not that long ago, these houses were occupied and kids played on these streets and rode their bikes up and down. And the further up you get, it's even more eerie. Like there's no, there's like, it's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's overgrown and it just keeps going, and there's house after house. It's just really interesting. Looks like they tried to stop it there at one point, and then like they kept getting abandoned lower and lower. But yeah, it's definitely one of the most interesting places that I've ever done. See, all the houses are laid out pretty much the same. Like they would all be the same exact thing. So I didn't bother going in to every house. It's just the same story. But yeah, as you can see, they're pretty molded and decayed. There wasn't anything left. It was just really weird. Like there's one part, it hasn't come up yet. The higher up you go, the more grown in it is, because I mean they must have started leaving from higher up, and then kept getting emptier on the way down. But it's it's just extremely weird. It is weird, and I see how people could be, come up with like legends of why it is that way. It is pretty strange that the entire neighborhood is just gone, but and it seems like they all left around the same time. But that might not be the case. I mean, that's probably not the case. Obviously, they didn't all leave at the same time. Some left before others, and I mean, I was just at this point, my wife and my baby are in the car, so I'm like, I'm not going to spend too much time up here. It's a pretty crazy town to begin with. There's a lot of crime there. It was pretty rough. So I didn't feel right leaving them down there, so I started heading back down. And there's like a lamppost. There's still street signs, and it was like Armageddon, man. It was like being in a movie. It looked like some Walking Dead stuff. So yeah, there's sewer caps just off. You know what I'm saying? There's people's pants hanging from trees. I mean, it was definitely an interesting stop. And if you didn't know that it was up this street, you would go right past it. You wouldn't even realize that this whole neighborhood was here. So it made it even more interesting. But I just try to put myself in, like that sidewalk there. I try to put myself in the past and think like, little kids, riding their bikes up and down there. It's people had lives there. People had families and created families in these houses. This was these were people's livelihood at one point in time. People took pride in these houses at one point in time and cut the grass and upkept this place. But it's gone. There's nothing left of it. But I just thought that it's one of the most interesting places I've done it, and this video gets overlooked a lot of the time. There's the factory, and it smells so bad. I mean, you almost have to hold your breath the whole time you drive through the town, man. It's that bad. But yeah, definitely a video that gets overlooked. It's one of my older videos. Not too many people see it or want to watch it, I guess. So figured I'd bring it to light and tell the story that I know about it, which I don't know anything. So thanks for watching.